Good evening and welcome. This is India Today, 6 p.m. Prime. I am Ankit Tyagi. Once again, the cases are rising. The COVID situation, the second wave is quite worrying, ladies and gentlemen. And the visuals that we showed you on your screen just a short while back, this does tell you our guard is down. This is something that coronavirus is waiting for us to keep our guard down, for us to be negligent, to strike again once as the second wave continues to race across the country. I just want to start by giving you the overall numbers as far as the country is concerned. Starting this again because the number of cases are rising. The active cases in India now stands at 5,52,566. In the last 24 hours, 53,480 new cases have been reported and 354 people unfortunately have lost their life. There is zero room for complacency, ladies and gentlemen. Let's very quickly take you to this breaking news which is coming in on this big story from Punjab as we speak. As cases continue to spike, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh says situation would have been better had the centre not delayed inclusion of 45 plus in the vaccine ambit by 2 months. Counters centre's criticism of his government COVID management, says Punjab testing more than the national average. This is after the health ministry pointed out on certain loopholes and had also criticized the handling by the government of Punjab as the cases in the state also continue to rise. Now, Punjab and centre, in fact, at loggerheads at this point of time, it will be imperative for the centre and the state to work together. But I want to shift focus to one state which is most worrying as far as the situation of COVID-19 is concerned. That is the state of Maharashtra, which is not only leading that tally, but is at this point the worst impacted state as far as the COVID-19 crisis is concerned. The state reported 27,918 cases, taking its active tally to 3,40,000. Maharashtra, as we speak, accounts for 60% of all active cases in the country. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has warned of a likely lockdown if the spike continues and citizens continue to violate norms. However, the Aghadi Ala NCP and opposition BJP are against the decision. NCP Minister Nawab Malik said the state cannot afford another lockdown and the Chief Minister has been asked to look for alternate options.
लॉकडाउन हम तभी करेंगे जब हमारे पास बेड्स उपलब्ध नहीं हैं, डॉक्टर्स उपलब्ध नहीं हैं या मेडिसिन्स की कमियां हैं और बहुत ज़्यादा संख्या बढ़ रही है. लेकिन आज महाराष्ट्र में चाहे 40,000 तक भी आंकड़ा गया था, फिर भी हमारे पास बेड्स की कोई कमी नहीं है या हमारे पास कोई डॉक्टर्स या मेडिसिन्स की कमी नहीं है. सभी जगह बेड्स उपलब्ध है. लेकिन अगर आंकड़े बढ़ते गए और ख़ास तौर पर हमें ऐसा महसूस होने लगा है तो फिर उसका डिसीजन लेना पड़ेगा.
Now, you heard the health minister who said that there is no shortage of beds in Mumbai. But is that the real situation on the ground? Because as the COVID cases are increasing in the maximum city, there is a panic rush of the patients to try and secure a bed for themselves in various hospitals, especially the private hospitals in Mumbai. The BMC has told the hospitals to increase their allotment as far as the COVID-19 dedicated beds are concerned, even going to the extent of trying to take control of all ventilators attached to COVID-19 beds. What's the situation in Mumbai as the city is staring at a possible COVID-19 dedicated bed crisis? Take a look at the story.
Maharashtra is bang in the middle of a second wave of COVID-19, clocking on an average 30,000 COVID cases every day. With cases rising sharply, the health infrastructure in the state is being tested once again. In Mumbai, the BMC is taking stringent measures. The civic body will manage 80% isolation beds of private hospitals. All ICUs of private hospitals will be managed by the BMC War Room. asymptomatic patients with no comorbidities will not be given a hospital bed. The BMC has ordered that all asymptomatic patients be discharged. All jumbo centers have been asked to operationalize their wards. 69 nursing homes are converted to COVID centers, adding 2,000 beds and 4,000 ICUs to the total tally.
Seeing the dangerous rise in cases, the Mumbai Municipal Corporation is now resorting to the arrangements that it had made in the year 2020. BMC fears that in the days to come, the daily count could well cross the 10,000 mark as well.
These measures come in the backdrop of concern that the city will run short of hospital beds. Mumbai's Bandra Kurla COVID Care Centre is expanding its facilities. As on Tuesday, Mumbai had just over 4,000 COVID beds available with 12,000 occupied.
बेड भरपूर मात्रा में अवेलेबल है। प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल ने भी बेड बढ़ाए हैं, गवर्नमेंट सेटअप ने बेड बढ़ाए हैं, जंबो हॉस्पिटल में बेड बढ़ाए हैं और आज ही हमने 2,500 बेड और छोटे स्मॉल नर्सिंग होम में उसमें भी बढ़ा दिए।
BMC allayed fears that the city was running short of beds.
डायरेक्टली लैब से रिपोर्ट ले लेते हैं। हमारे आदेश हैं हॉस्पिटल्स को कि डायरेक्टली कौन किसी को बेड अलॉट नहीं करेगा। पर ये जो लोग जो सिस्टम को ब्रेक करते हैं, जो हमारे सिस्टम को फॉलो नहीं करते, उनको मेरी यही रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप सिस्टम में रहिए। अगर सिस्टम से बाहर जाएंगे, यू विल बिकम फिश आउट ऑफ वाटर, आपको बेड नहीं मिलेगा। तो ये कारण है कुछ लोग बोलते हैं बम्बई में बेड नहीं है।
BMC says there is no scarcity of hospital beds, be it the public or the private. BMC Commissioner has impressed upon the fact that there is already a mechanism in place and that the people need to go by that particular mechanism. But the authorities also warn that if people do not abide by the rules and regulations, lockdown is not completely ruled out. With camera person Mahesh More, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai, reporting for India Today.
All right, BMC Commissioner Iqbal Singh Chahal also spoke to Rajdeep Sardesai on host of issues, including whether there is a scarcity of beds staring the maximum city.
Our hospital infrastructure, it's so robust now, Rajdeep. We already have 13,000 beds online available on our dashboard, and we are putting 4,000 more beds this week. It will become 17,000, and then we have now 23,000 beds already with us. All the entire hardware is ready. We just need to operationalize them as and when they are required. But to assure the citizens of Mumbai, we will continuously try to keep 7,000, 8,000 beds always vacant.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to put two images on your screen right now. Just take a look, because we've been talking about the rising number of COVID cases. Now, your screens right now are what you see are two images, where in one, festivities of Holi are on an overdrive despite the pandemic which is raging on. Interestingly, these visuals on your right are of your huge crowds at the political rallies in poll-bound states as well. So when it comes to the festivals, when it comes to the poll-bound states, all political parties like to show, they like to show in political rallies that they are getting huge numbers without any social distancing being followed, and that includes the rallies of the chief ministers, even the Prime Minister, Home Minister and other senior ministers. And then the governments try and shift blame, write letters to each other, blaming them for the situation which is getting out of hands. But just not the government, the onus, ladies and gentlemen, is on us as well. But I just want to very quickly go across to Dr. Rajesh Parekh. He's a Director of Medical Research, Jaslok Hospital and Research Center, who is joining us this evening. Dr. Parekh, pleasure to have you on 6 p.m. Prime, sir. I want to start by asking you, sir, these two images that I have put of massive number of people during the Holi celebration, rallies in Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Assam, packed to the hilt. The question that many people are asking me, sir, that Bihar elections happened, elections are taking place right now. They don't see a pandemic kind of situation or number growing in West Bengal. What explains that, sir?
Well, there could be several explanations, and they're mostly theoretical. We needn't go into that because we won't be able to discuss all the mutant possibilities in the time that we have. But there's one thing which we should understand very clearly. And, Bertrand Russell, the mathematician and philosopher, wrote this over 100 years ago. And he said the real big problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are so certain of themselves, while the wise are full of doubt. If we have been listening to the data that has been available now for more than a year, the mathematical models which have been available since January, we wrote about them in both our books. In the coronavirus book, which we wrote in February, and more recently in the vaccine book, we showed the graphs, the models. They all indicated that a second wave was imminent. In mid-December, I wrote a policy paper in which I talked of the current second wave and of steps that we could take to prevent it. The problem is that the narrative that people are getting from politicians and from scientists are in opposing directions. Some of our politicians seem to be very certain of themselves. They say that there is no problem, or that the problem is going to be sorted out in a few days, and people want to hear that. We all want to be reassured, but I think if we give reassurances which are not valid and are full of confidence and pomp, then we get lulled into a false sense of security, and we see exactly the kind of visuals that you've been showing us and the questions you've been yourself asking for so long.
Dr. Parekh, I just want to understand from you, sir, the whole idea behind massively ramping up the vaccination process was that we would be able to somewhere, 70-80% of the country very soon would be able to vaccinate it. We are falling short of that target, sir. Is this only now vaccine hesitancy, or do you see a problem as far as the now implementation is concerned? A lot of criticism on the way possibly we can ramp up, and we are not doing so.
Well, first, let us understand how desperately short we are of our targets. If it's possible to focus on this graph, it's a graph which is 2 days old. And if you look at the percentages of populations which have been vaccinated in various countries relative to India, or even in the world, you'll see how woefully short we are of the target. The United Kingdom and the US made monumental errors in the beginning of this pandemic, but let us give them due credit that they are on a corrective course of action and have vaccinated around 50% of their population. We, on the other hand, and here are other figures and here are the figures for the world, we are so short. Our total number of people who've been vaccinated and received just one dose is around 6 crores. We have wasted 7.5% of our vaccines, which have expired and have not been used. And we've also exported more vaccines than we have currently used. So there have been some things that have not worked perfectly, but it's never too late. It's never too late for us to correct ourselves. And I believe these actions are being taken. And we need to mutate our thinking, our policies as rapidly as the virus is mutating if we are going to get a hold of this. Because the problem that I foresee in the near future is what happened in Israel a month ago. Israel now has vaccinated about 100% of its population. But a month ago, the vaccination program came to a halt because the crest of their second wave coincided with the vaccination, and the sites could have become potential spreading events. Now, that could happen in our country if we don't act fast enough, because the crest of this second wave is a bit away now. But should it come as our vaccination programs get escalated, then we are going to face a big problem.
That's a very, very important point that Dr. Parekh is making, and we are hoping that not only the people but also the policymakers are listening to it. It's time not only to ramp it up, get the private sector involved much further, and as many experts are saying, what is the government waiting for? If you can afford the vaccine, if there is availability of the vaccine, let anybody who can get vaccinated. That should be the aim as soon as possible. Dr. Parekh, thank you so much, sir, for sparing the time and speaking to us here on India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.